Hey everybody, welcome to my Legion by Legion breakdown of the Liber's books for Age of Darkness. We're starting with the first Legion in the Liber Astartes, the Dark Angels. And this is going to set the tone for going through all of these one by one. Now, if you haven't watched it, go check out the overview of the first 140 pages, the core section of the Liber books, where both the Hereticus and the Astartes draw their primary units from. This is, of course, going to be on the subfaction Dark Angels, which gives you a bunch of additional special rules. So, jumping right in, Dark Angels. Well, what do they get for having that keyword? They get Arsenal of the First Legion, take their war gear options. Scions of the Hecatonistica, which means they get a separate subfaction keyword on top of that. And the First Legion, a world with the special rule, may take a Warlord trait, and the Dark Angels Warlord trait. You also get an advanced reaction, which you can use once per game for playing this Legion. So, the Hexagrammaton unit subtypes. You can be part of the Stormwing, Deathwing, Dreadwing, Ironwing, Firewing, or Ravenwing, and any unit can gain a subtype. Some of the specialist units in here are required to have a certain subtype, and each subtype gives you a special thing. Now, once per turn, basically, you can call upon your subtype as the person leading them. And when you're using that subtype basically gets called to action. So there's 6 different ones. You call them to action during a given turn, they get a special bonus. So if you're calling the Stormwing to action, then all models in a unit under the effect of this Hexagrammaton unit subtype gain +1 to hit when rolling to hit as part of a shooting attack, including during a reaction with a bolter, combi bolter, or bolt pistol. So Storming is very handy to give to your tactical squads, obviously. The Deathwing unit subtype. All models in this unit's under the effect of this unit subtype gain the bonus of +1 to hit when rolling to hit in an assault with one of the following weapons, any kind of sword. Even just close combat weapons modeled as sword, you get +1 to hit. And any vehicle with this subtype gets +1 to the strength for making a ram attack. Basically, you're good at melee. Then the Dreadwing. All models in this unit under the effect of this subtype reduce the strength of all attacks made by flame, plasma, volkite, and phosphate weapons by -1, and anything with the poison X rule becomes a 6+ to wound. So you get very robust. The Ironwing. All models with any unit with this subtype may reroll failed hit rolls of 1 when targeting things with the vehicle unit type. Additionally, a model with this unit may make snapshots at both skill 2 instead of 1 if they have the vehicle type. The Firewing, they gain a +1 to wound when attacking units that have the independent character special rule, your Assassins, and the Ravenwing. Units with this subtype that have the vehicle type add +1 to distance move when they run, and models with the Cavalry unit type reroll any failed shrouded damage mitigation rolls, because you get shrouded when you run, basically. Models with this unit subtype and the vehicle unit type add +2 to their movement characteristic when moving at cruising speed. So there's the one for your light vehicles and stuff. So once you have that Hexagrammaton assigned to you at the start of the game, you're stuck with it for the rest of the game. It means you have a fighting style. And all units of the Legion of Astartes Dark Angels special rule must select one of those subtypes. You don't have a choice, basically. All models in a unit must have the same subtype. However, Legion Tech Marine Covenant or Legion Apothecary Detachment may select a different one for models in the units they join. Additionally, unit selects a retinue may have a different Hexagrammaton unit subtype than the people that are using you as a leader. And of course, if you're an independent character, you can join different subtypes. Yeah, so basically, if at the start of any player's turn, any unit that has that player controls includes models with different Hexagrammaton unit subtypes, and the controlling player must select one of them whose benefits will be applied to the model until the start of the controlling player's next turn. Any other Hexagrammaton unit subtypes gain no benefit for the duration of that game turn. While embarked on any model, a unit loses their Hexagrammaton subtype, but that doesn't stop them from having it themselves. All right. So you basically get a bunch of extra special rules based on whatever your Hexagrammaton unit subtype is, but obviously some are more important to certain units than others. You got to give people, make them members of the Ironwing or the Deathwing or whatever. Now this will affect your rights of war, so it gets more complicated as you go on. Your advanced reaction, Angels of Death. If you get charged, make a leadership test. If you pass, you become fearless in Fear 2. If you fail, you become stubborn in Fear 1, but basically you're super scary and hard to shift in combat. Your Warlord traits, you got 2 to choose from. You become a Marshal of the Crown. A warlord with this trait must select one of the hexagrammaton unit subtypes. All units that include at least one model with the corresponding subtype and at least one model within line of sight of the warlord gain +1 leadership. So it does kind of benefit you if you're going to do that and give him a subtype to have everyone be from the same kind of faction subtype. And again, mixing and matching, I mean, you can do it obviously, but you're going to probably lean into one or the other. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait may take additional reaction based on what your subtype is. So Deathwing and Dreadwing can take one in the assault phase, Stormwing and Ironwing in the shooting phase, and Ravenwing and Firewing in the movement phase. This reaction may only be made as long as the warlord is not a casualty. And then Seneschal of the Keys. A warlord with this trait may select one faction, for instance, Mechanicum, Dark Mechanicum, Demons of the Runestone, or Legions of Astartes. Once per battle, the warlord's controlling player may, at the start of their own turns, make a decisive turn. During that turn, the warlord and all models needed he's joined increase their weapon skill by +1 when attacking a unit that has at least one model from that chosen faction. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait may make an additional reaction during the opposing player's assault phase as long as the warlord's not been removed as a casualty. So you can pick someone up to be good at fighting, or you can basically be inspiring to people of the same hexagrammaton type as you, and based on that type, get an additional reaction. All right, Rights of War, Steel Fist. This is your Ironwing Rite of War, basically. Predators become troops, Kratos has become elites, and all units in attachment using this Rite of War made up entirely of models with the infantry unit subtype, the Ironwing unit subtype, and with fewer than 10 models can take a Land Raider Proteus carries a dedicated transport, or if it's more than 10 models, a Land Raider Spartan. And then limitations, all units made up entirely of models with the infantry unit subtype in this attachment must begin the battle embarked on a transport. All units selected as a troop choice, Legion Predator Squadrons and Legion Kratos Squadrons must have the Ironwing subtype. No units from this attachment using this Rite of War may be Deep Strike, Flank Assault, or Subterranean Assault. And if the primary detachment's army is using this Rite of War, then the Warlord must have the Ironwing subtype or be Lancelot Johnson. And then the Eschaton Imperative. So this one is basically when you get the Dreadwing veterans out to use all the crazy old techno stuff that was given to him by the Emperor, this is the detachment you're going to take. So Legion Destroyer Assault Squads, Mortalist Destroyer Squads, and Dreadwing Interruptor Squads, the special unit, can be taken as troops. Now, all models with the Dreadwing unit subtype automatically pass any dangerous terrain tests they're forced to make. For the duration of the battle, all open terrain of the battlefield outside of any player's deployment zone is considered difficult terrain. And those areas previously defined as difficult terrain, like woods and ruins, become difficult terrain, while impassable terrain becomes dangerous terrain. Fortifications and buildings are unaffected by this rule. Before any model is deployed, the controlling player may place up to 2 eschaton markers used by spare dice or anything that's 25 mil. Anywhere in the playing area that's 6 inches from a battlefield edge or any player's deployment zone and within 6 of any eschaton marker. The area within 6 of any eschaton marker, including terrain pieces with the zone of this effect, are counted as dangerous terrain in addition to any other terrain rules for the battle. All models of the Dreadwing unit subtype in this detachment using this Rite of War gain +1 to all to wound rolls made against models in any zone or area of terrain or dangerous terrain piece that counts as dangerous. So basically, you're saturating the battlefield with like radiation and crazy like old knight technology, and you get +1 to wound against them. And then your limitations of the primary detachment of this army is using this Rite of War. The army's warlord must be Dreadwing or be Lancelot Johnson. All units selected as troop choices, Legion Destroyer Assault Squads and Legion Mortalist Destroyer Squads in this attachment must be Dreadwing. If at the end of the battle there are any enemy units in the opposing player's deployment zone that are not pinned or falling back, you get D3 extra victory points. And then detachments using this Rite of War may never take fortifications. And then you've got 4 more for all the rest of the hexagrammaton stuff. So the Storm of War. Any Legion Tactical Squads, Despoiler Squads, or Assault Squads selected as part of the detachment using this Rite of War, consisting of at least 20 models, may include a Legion Centurion. Does not eat up a Force org chart. The Centurion's not considered to be is considered to be part of the squad he's purchased for, cannot leave it during the game, and cannot have any console upgrades. A Legion Centurion selected in this manner may not be chosen as the army's warlord and must have the Stormwing unit subtype. All models with the character and Stormwing unit subtype gain the Stubborn special rule, which means your units are stubborn, including any Centurion selected as part of this Rite of War. Legion Tactical Squads, Despoiler Squads, and Assault Squads may be selected as elite choices. using this Rite of War. And then Legion Assault Squads may be taken as fast attack choices. So your limitations are all Legion Tactical Squads must become Stormwing, Despoiler Squads, and Assault Squads. All compulsory troop choices in this detachment using this Rite of War must be taken at the maximum number of models possible. And no Legion Tactical Squads or Despoiler Squads may be in a dedicated transport. No units from the detachment using this Rite of War may be assigned to Deep Strike, Flank Assault, or Subterranean Assault. And you must have the Stormwing Rite of War or be Lionel Johnson. So basically, this is like the massed infantry company formation. And you're going to be getting +1 hit with all your bolters, which is sweet. So then we're into the Unbroken Vow. So veterans, Tartarus Terminator Squads, and Cataphractic Terminator Squads can be taken as troops. You must gain, models with the independent character special rule and the Deathwing subtype gain +1 attack while they're within 12 of any objective. And all models in a Legion Veteran Squad, Tartarus Squad, or Cataphractic Squad chosen as this detachment gain the Heart of the Legion special rule. So not line, but Heart of the Legion. So your troops, you're not line, but you gain the 6+ wound shrug against damage and fearless when you're near an objective. And then limitation, after deployments have been resolved, the controlling player must select a single objective marker on the battlefield, as close to the center of the battlefield as possible. At the end of the battle, if the controlling player does not control this objective, the opposing player gains +1 victory points, or D3, if the opposing player controls it instead. All Terminator Squads, Legion Cataphracti, and Legion Veterans must be Deathwing. And if the primary detachment is using this Rite of War, they must have Deathwing as unit subtype for their Warlord or be Lionel Johnson. The Seeker's Arrow. So this one affects Legion Skyhunter Squadrons and Outrider Squadrons, can be taken as troops. This is basically a Raven Wing. Independent characters, models in this detachment using this Rite of War that have the Cavalry subtypes, they have a bike or whatever, gain Rampage 2 special rule. And all units made up entirely of models of the Cavalry or Infantry unit type and the Raven Wing unit type gain the Outflank special rule. So what does Rampage do? Rampage, which I'm assuming is in the special rules for this, Reactor Blast. No, Rampage must be in the core rules then. QRS. Rampage. At the start of the sub-fight FUD phase, models with the Rampage special gain a number of attacks equal to the value listed in brackets if outnumbered by the enemy, including the effects of the bulky special rule. Count all models locked in combat, and then if you basically get that bonus. You get 2 extra attacks if you're outnumbered, basically, when you're fighting. And then all units made up entirely of models with the Cavalry or Infantry subtype and the Raven Wing unit subtype gain the Outflank special rule. Detachment using this Rite of War may not include models of the vehicle unit subtype that do not also have fast skimmer or flyer. A detachment using this Rite of War may only include a single heavy support choice. All units selected as troops and fast attack choices must have the Raven Wing unit subtype. And if the primary detachment of this army uses this Rite of War, the army's warlord must be Raven Wing or be Lionel Johnson. And then finally, the Serpent's Bane. So your Seeker Squads may be taken as troops. At the start of the battle, the controlling player must select 3 enemy Primarch, HQ, Elite, or Lords of War choices as priority targets. All models from this detachment that include at least 1 model with the Fire Wing unit subtype add +1 to hit rolls against the priority targets, or any unit that a priority target is joined. If the enemy unit does not include at least 3 Primarch, HQ, Elites, or Lords of War choices, then any other units may be assigned the following priority to be a priority target, basically. Models with both the character and Fire Wing unit type in the attachment with the Rite of War gain +1 attack when locked in combat with a priority target, and up to 3 units selected as troop choices and attachment using this Rite of War that have the Fire Wing unit subtype can be given the Infiltrate special rule. Limitations. All units selected as troops in this detachment must be Fire Wing. At the end of the battle, the opposing player scores +3 VPs for each priority target that's been destroyed. I'm not sure that it has at least 1 model on the battlefield and it is neither pinned or falling back. So if you survive, the opposing player gets +3 victory points. And then if the primary detachment of this army is using this Rite of War, then you must be either Fire Wing or Lionel Johnson. So your opponent gets +3 VPs if they survive. Just like with the Unbroken Vow, your opponent gets an extra additional victory point, or D3, if they control the central objective. All right, so in the Armory of the Dark Angels, you can have a Calibanite Warblade, and this is basically any model with the character unit subtype and Legion Series Dark Angels. May exchange a power weapon for this instead. It's +1 strength, AP3, melee, and rending 6+ for AP1. You can exchange your plasma gun or twin link plasma gun for a plasma repeater for 5 points or a plasma burner for 10 points. In the case of units with multiple plasma guns, you must pay for each one. And the plasma repeater is 12-inch range, strength 6, AP 4, assault 3, gets halt, twin linked, and breaching 4+, which is amazing. It's a 4+ to wound, basically takes it AP 2, but it's assault 3 and twin linked. Plasma burner is a template, strength 6, AP 4, assault 1, breaching 4+. Any model with the independent character Dark Angel special rules may make exchange a power fist for a tyrannic greatsword. It's a power weapon with +2 strength, AP 3, melee 2-handed, rending 5+, and murder strike 5+. So an even more powerful Paragon blade almost. And then all of your missile launchers for 5 points can take stasis missiles, range 24 inches, strength 4, heavy 1, blast 3 inches, and concussive 1, because they put you in stasis. And then your Paladin of the Hecatonistica is a 30-point upgrade for your consoles. You'd be given one of the Orders of the Hecatonistica options available for Inner Circle Knight Cenobium at no additional point cost. And you increase your weapon skill to 6 and leadership to 10. You gain Stubborn and Adamantium Will 3+. And you can have a Tyrannic Greatsword for no additional point cost. You must take it at no additional point cost. And we'll get into what those knights do in a minute. But here we go. The Primarch himself, Lancelot Johnson, 460 points. Movement 8, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 6, strength 7, toughness 6. So a lot of them are 6/6, so being strength 7 makes him really strong. Weapon skill 6, he is initiative 7, 7 attacks, leadership 10, and 2+ save with his panoply. He has the Leonine Panoply, which is a 2+ in armor and 4+ invul, and he can reroll the first failed invul per turn. It's pretty standard for Primarchs. And he can exchange the Lion Sword for the Wolf Blade for free if he wants, because it's either before or after his duel with Russ. His Warlord Trait, Sire of the Dark Angels. If chosen as the army's Warlord, he automatically has this and may not select any other Warlord trait. All models of the Legion of Astartes Dark Angels rule in the same army gain the Crusader special rule, and any friendly models with Legion of Astartes Dark Angels special rule that can draw line of sight to him add +1 to their leadership to a maximum of 10. In addition, Lionel Johnson, as its Warlord, may make an additional reaction in the shooting phase as long as he's not removed as a casualty. He does not pick a Hexagrammaton unit subtype. He just picks which one he wants to be at the start of the turn. Every turn, he just gets to pick a new one. So you're in melee, pick the Deathwing. You're shooting with a bolt weapon, which I think the Fusel counts as. Yep, he counts for +1 to hit from the storm weapons. I mean, he's skill 6, so he's hitting on 2+ with a big reroll. And then Crusader, ABC. Summary against Crusader. A unit that contains at least one model with this special rule rolls an extra dice for making sweeping advances and discards the lowest. Point of the Blade. After declaring a charge for Lionel Johnson and any unit he's joined, the controlling player may choose not to make a charge roll to determine the distance. Just move 8 instead. Ignoring the effects of difficult terrain and dangerous terrain, and adding no bonuses to the distance for their movement characteristic or warrior. He's got the Lion's Collar. When he's got 4 wounds or less, he's got +1 attack, or 2 wounds or less, he's got +2 attacks. The Fusel Actinius counts as a plasma weapon, 18-inch range, strength 7, AP 3, assault 2, twin link blind, and rending 3+. Remember, he is a Primarch, so he's always going to be picking the people to die from that gun. So blind and rending 3+, twin linked. So he's rerolling all his misses, plus he gets his ballistic skill reroll. It's crazy. Lion Sword is going to be strength 7, AP 1, melee, armor bane, melee, flesh bane, so always wounds on 2s. Against non-vehicles, it gets an extra penetration dice against vehicles. Mastercrafted, instant death, 2-handed. So just kills stuff. But if he takes the Wolf Blade, he'll be strength 9, AP 3, melee, 2-handed, shred, breaching 4+, reaping blow 2, mastercrafted, and fearsome ruin. Fearsome ruin, the controlling player of any unit which suffers 1 or more casualties from this weapon and makes a morale check during the assault phase must roll additional d6 and keep the 2 highest. So 3d6, keep the 2 highest. And they both benefit from +1 to hit from the Deathwing unit subtype. And then a stasis grenade once per battle. Lionel Johnson's controlling player may choose to use a stasis grenade when a charge is declared for Lionel Johnson and any unit he's joined. If the charge for which the stasis grenade is used is successful, then the enemy must take an initiative test. If it's passed and there's no further effect, if it's failed, then all enemy units, any models in that unit reduce their initiative by -1 for the duration of the assault phase. He's initiative 7 though, so he's probably going before everybody else. And that is the Lion. Inner Circle Knights Cenobium. All right, so we have the Inner Circle Knights Cenobium. 275 points a squad. You got some sweet weapon skill 5, 2 wounds, 2 attacks base on them. And they are wearing Cataphractii Terminator armor, so they are infantry characters all and heavy. They, of course, are Order Exemplars, Adamantium Will 3+, Stubborn, Bulky 2, Relentless, and Dark Angels. They come with Plasma Casters and Tyrannic Greatswords base. So the Plasma Caster is a template, Strength 4, AP 4, Assault 1, Breaching 6+, like Plasma Flamer. And then if they have no more than 5 models, they can take a Land Raider Proteus, or if they have 5 or more, a Spartan. You can have up to 5 more models for 50 points each. They can have a Vexilia, they can have Thunderhammers, and a Grenade Harness. And they must take one of the orders. So the Augurs of Weakness, when making an armor penetration roll against a target with armor 11 or more on its facing, a model with this rule gets +1 strength. Icons of Resolve get +1 leadership on any turn in which it's charged by one or more enemy units. Slayers of Kings, this model may reroll failed to hit rolls of 1 when engaged with a model with weapon skill 5 or higher in a challenge, with any model with a weapon skill 5 or higher. Hunters of Beasts, you may reroll failed rolls to wounds of 1 when engaged in combat with 1 or more models of toughness 5, or any failed wound roll if it's toughness 6 or higher. So basically, you're rerolling wounds if your toughness is 5 or higher, 6 or higher. All the time. Same with up here when you're in a challenge, you roll all your hits. Oh no, it's just reroll failed hits rolls of 1 all the time. There's no fully rerolling the wound. Reaper of Hosts, this model gains +1 attack in the fight phase at the beginning of base contact with more than one enemy model. And Breaker of Wishes, this model may reroll to hit and to wound rolls in close combat when attacking an enemy unit that includes 1 or more models with the Demon Unit subtype or the Psyker or Corrupted subtype. And it's basically during army selection you have to pick this. And of course you can have the Praetor or the Consul that has this as well. A Dreadwing Interruptor squad for Elite Choice. It's 125 points. They're basically tactical marines with 2 attacks, +1 leadership. They have Plasma Burners, so it's a template Strength 6, AP 4, Assault 1, Breaching 4+ Plasma Flamer. They have bolt pistols, basic close combat weapons, but you can make them swords, Rad, Frag, Crack, Power Armor. And they must be Dreadwing. And they have Bitter Duty, Counterattack 1, Stubborn, and Dark Angels. So they're kind of like your spoiler squads. They can take a Rhino, a Land Raider Proteus, or if they have no more than 10 models, they can take additional 10 models. So you get up to 15 models in the squad for 20 points each. A Vexilia Nuncio Vox or Augury Scanner available, and for every 5 models in the unit, you can take a missile launcher with Suspensor Web, Rob, and Stasis missiles, or a Plasma Incinerator, which is the big boy, which has Torrent 9 inches, so it shoots further. And then you may take up to, your Prefectus can take 3 Phosphex bombs or Melta-bombs, and Artificer armor. Your Deathwing Companion Detachment, this is basically your retinue that you can take for your characters. They may only be selected as part of a detachment that includes at least 1 Master of the Legion special rule, and they can have a retinue squad. And they should also be Deathwing, sorry. You have a Scytheran Pattern Aegis. It can only be used one of 2 ways. You can provide the bearer with a 4+ invulnerable save against shooting attacks and a 5+ in melee, or it can be deployed. The controlling player can choose to deploy it at the end of any of their own movement phases. The unit must be deployed in the battlefield, not embarked on a model. As long as at least 2 models in the unit are equipped with these Pattern Aegises. All models in that unit that have a Scytheron Pattern Aegis must deploy them to gain a benefit. While deployed, the entire unit gains a 4+ invulnerable save against shooting attacks and a 5+ invulnerable save against melee attacks. And any enemy models engaged with the model from the Deathwing Companion's detachment in an assault have their initiative reduced by -1. However, when deployed, the models of the Scytheron Pattern Aegis may not make attacks in any phase or as part of a reaction. The controlling player may choose to end the deployment and start their own movement phase, or if the number of Scytheron Pattern engaged equipped models in the unit drops below 2, and then the effect immediately ends. So these guys have Artificer armor. They're not Terminators. So they're basically just regular Marines with 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 2+ save, and weapon skill 5. They've got Cowboy Knight Warblades, Bolters, Bolt Pistols, Artificer armor, Frag, Crack, Refractor Fields on the Oathbearer only, which is the character leader. And they're all Deathwing. Chosen Warriors, they'll issue and declare challenges, Deathworn Companions. Even if you get any that includes at least one model with this special rule, ignores the effects of precision strikes and precision shots. And the Relentless. They can have a Legion Rhino, Proteus, and then you can have up to 5 more models for 25 points each. Bandits and Chain Bayonets, Melta-Bombs, Power Fists, and Tyrannic Greatswords for your Caliban Knight Warblade. And then Magna Combi Weapons or Minor Combi Weapons for any of them. Plasma Pistols, or a Scythe-Run Pattern Aegis. You can take that big... It's basically... I think it sounds like it's basically what the Watcher in the Dark is carrying next to Azrael in regular 40k. It's a Scythe-Run Pattern Aegis, but you get like units with them in Horus Heresy. Take a Vexilla, and if any model in the Deathwing Companion detachment is selected as part of a Deathwing Retinue special as a Legion Warhack jump pack, then you can give them all jump packs. So if your character has a jump pack, they can have jump packs too. All right, when the characters, HQ, Coursewain, Paladin of the Ninth Order, Champion of the Dark Angels, 200 points. Weapon skill 7, plus skill 5, strength down to 4, 4 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 2 plus save. He has the Blade, the Armor of the Forest, and the Mantle of the Champion, Bolter, Bolt Pistol, Fragment Crack Grenades. He is Master of the Legion, independent character, Relentless, Precision Strike 4 plus, Loyalist, and Warlord, Marshal of the Crown, Deathwing. If chosen as this army's Warlord, he automatically has the Marshal of the Crown Deathwing Warlord traits, the one from the beginning, and may not select any other Warlord trait, and it has to be Deathwing. The Blade, plus 2 strength, melee, 2-handed strike, mastercrafted, duelist edge 2, so he's initiative 7 in challenges, and murderous strike 4 plus. Plus he gets the +1 hit from being Deathwing. And the Armor of the Forest, Mantle of Champions. He has 2 plus armor save, 4 plus invulnerable save, and 3 plus invulnerable against melee attacks. This guy is a beast in hand-to-hand combat. Marduk Cedrus. He is the Lord of the 23rd Order, Eschaton of the Dreadwing, and Preceptor of the Shattered Sphere. He's weapon skill 6 plus skill 5, 4 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, 2 plus save. Has a Plasma Burner, 3 Phosphex Bombs, a Grenade Harness, Regalia of the Shattered Sphere, and the Death of Worlds. Death of Worlds is a real cool melee weapon. It is... the Blade knows Death of Worlds is a pattern welded from fragments of adamantium collected from the hive cities of the first fall of Eschaton. So basically, they took like dead planet pieces or dead city pieces and made them into this sword. Strength plus 5, so he's strength 9, AP 2, melee, unwieldy, 2-handed, Curse of the Dead Worlds. Invulnerable saves taken against hits by this weapon are reduced by -1 to a minimum of 6 plus. So it's the Curse of the Dead World basically. His Warlord, the Preceptor of the Shattered Sphere. If Marduk Cedrus is the army's Warlord, and then a unit of Inner Circle Knights Zenobia may be selected as part of the same HQ choice. A unit selected this way is considered a retinue squad. Don't take up a 4-sword chart. However, this option selected that no other unit may be selected as a retinue for him. In addition, an army with Marduk Cedrus as its Warlord phase may make an additional react in the assault phase. Ancient of War. At the start of the battle, after deployment before the first turn's begun, the controlling player may select a single faction from the allies in the Age of Darkness table, including either the agents of the Emperor or War Master that's represented in the enemy army, Marduk Cedrus and any friendly units with Legion of Astartes Dark Angels special rule that have at least one model within 6 of Marduk Cedrus, or a model with the transport subtype on which he's embarked. When all the models have been deployed before the first game turn, gain the preferred enemy chosen faction special rule for all models in that unit for the duration of the battle. He basically calls somebody else out as long as he's on the table at the beginning. And then he's got the Regalia of the Shattered Scepter. It's a 2 plus armor save, 4 plus invulnerable save. In addition, the Regalia of the Shattered Scepter allows the bearer to automatically pass any dangerous terrain tests they're called upon. A very cool Ancient of War. And that's it. That's Legion of Astartes. We're in the color section. Very cool helmets. I believe the upgrade pack is going to give a bunch of this stuff. It looks like this is all the concept art for the upgrade sprues that are coming out. And then the very cool Cenobite Terminators in their like super honorificus stuff. Crusade armor. I love that. Mark III armor. Mark IV Maximus armor. Cool looking Spartan, Leviathan, and Saber Strike Tank. The light tank with like the packs of rockets on the side. Very cool. There's Lancelot Johnson. A Praetor in Cataphractii armor. Praetor in Artificer armor. Inner Circle Cenobite and Deathwing Companion. It's a nice little just tactical marines. That new Saber Strike Tank. I'm guessing that's plastic. It sure looks like plastic. Same with this Leviathan. Sure looks like plastic with some cool accessories. Doesn't look too much like resin. I don't know, it might be resin. It looks too crisp. It looks too crisp. The Interrupter, definitely resin. Interrupter, or maybe it's an upgrade sprue for Mark IIIs. I don't know. I don't know. I want everything to be plastic. So maybe it might just be wishful thinking, but a lot of this looks like, that definitely I think is going to be plastic. This guy, I don't know. Maybe. Unless he already exists in resin, I'm just an idiot, I haven't seen him. All right, next up, the next video will be the White Scars, and we will take a look at that coming up next. We're going to keep going through and doing all 18 of these. I'm going to get as many done as I can for launch day, but we'll see how far we get. So big thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next one. Until then, I'm Ash. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.